name just spreads far and wide throughout the world. Somebody from Scotland translates the book from French to English, and it just goes everywhere, and her pictures start going everywhere, and this promise that I will send miracles from heaven starts going everywhere. And the monastery in Lisieux is flooded with letters of miracles. The message that she embodies, what did she bet on? Yeah, she gave her entire life in the monastery using this particular spiritual formula, which made her from an ordinary little person to an ordinary little saintly person. This is what she did. She had great faith and confidence as the first ingredient in God. It was any situation in her life, and her life is very beautifully described in The Journey of a Soul. Very, very beautiful, like a masterpiece of a biography, an autobiography that she wrote there for her sisters in the monastery, and then it spread. Any challenge she's facing, she is absolutely sure that God will win. So she enters everything with total trust and total confidence, and she just knows the absolute triumph of God from the first moment of everything that happens. And because she is absolutely sure of God, and she says, it is irrelevant how worthless I am, what a failure I am, it is irrelevant, everything will end in God's victory. And that total faith, total trust, made it so that her life would be exactly like that. A series of tremendous spiritual triumphs in very little insignificant things, apparently, but very significant from spirit. And from that, all her worries and guilt disappeared. As the book progresses, you just feel how she enters this total peace of mind. Because it's obvious who will win. God will win. That's it. I trust Him. And her future disappears. She said, I cannot pray for tomorrow. I can only pray for today. I don't have tomorrow. Because when such faith exists, tomorrow disappears. And in that state of consciousness, she lived. Now, she understood that love is her vocation. Love for God, for Christ, and love for God in everyone. And that she can serve God, not by doing big things, but by doing little things with a lot of love, which is the essence of the Mother Teresa's teachings, and that's what she spread. And that's what is helping so many people today through her wonderful organization. So she would be especially nice to people that really pissed her off in the monastery. Now, if you're trapped with 20 women in a prison for the rest of your life and you don't like someone, that can be quite unnerving. And especially if that person is annoying and doesn't like you back. And she would insist on spending time with these people that she didn't like and being the sweetest kindness, offering services, smiles, and so forth. To a degree that this one sister she didn't like, Augustina, she asked her, why do you love me so much every time you smile towards me? She says, oh, I'm just happy to see you. I wonder what happened when she read the book after to find out that she was the one that the little saint, the famous saint, didn't like. But she managed, and she would take care of the most grumpy and most annoying of the nuns, and she would take fault for things she didn't do. And just little things, when people would sprinkle dirty water on her, she would just take it, and they would make noise in the meditation. She couldn't concentrate. I don't know, there was one sister who kept on chewing on something, drive her crazy. For months and years, she didn't say anything, as an act of love. And these kind of little things in which she broke her selfish instinct and chose to do something soulful, that was enough so that she disidentifies from everything selfish and returns to be the story of a soul. returns to be a soul. And she got so established in that state that she would think of God only the whole day. Yeah, the fourth ingredient is this humility that we spoke about, being absolutely no one. But using these ingredients, she would not return to the selfish state of consciousness, but stay there. And she writes in her book, I don't understand why I don't dream of God. I only think of God the whole day, and then I dream of butterflies. All she would dream about was butterflies. This was as low as her subconscious would go. Yeah, if we have the, you have your conscious mind, and under the subconscious, her conscious mind was so high all the time with God, the subconscious would get as low as visions of butterflies. Her vision and her vocation, and she knew from a very young age that she will die young, anonymous, that she will be no one in this life, and she succeeded remarkably. There was only 25 people in the funeral. She managed to be absolutely no one, but that her spiritual mission will begin after she dies. And she said this also at her deathbed, that now my mission will begin. And she said like this, when I die, I will send down a shower of roses from the heavens. I will spend my heaven by doing good on earth. And that's what she has been doing. Basically, her message, to express it the little way in one sentence we take from her, she says like this: Jesus has chosen to show me the only way which leads to divine furnace of love. It is the way of childlike self-surrender, the way of a child who sleeps afraid of nothing in its father's arms. Basically, when she passed away, her spiritual mission began, and she does numerous amounts of miracles. What happens is that her book of memoirs becomes a book, and they send it to all the monasteries. The monasteries, some of them get very angry. What is this little way? We should scold ourselves. We should feel guilty. What is this? But many others are, wow, can we have more books? We send it to the people. And in a few years, her name just spreads far and wide throughout the world. Somebody from Scotland translates the book from French to English, and it just goes everywhere, and her pictures start going everywhere, and this promise that I will send miracles from heaven starts going everywhere. And the monastery in Lisieux is flooded with letters of miracles. They will get hundreds of letters a day. It's not hundreds of spam emails. Today it's very easy to send a letter. At that time, to send a letter, you need some kind of people healed, people converted, people passing a test, people helped with their poverty, people helped in all sorts of ways, people receiving spiritual favors, divine visions. And these miracles, they come to the attention of the Vatican, and there is a very thorough investigation. It lasts for many, many years, in which these cases are checked. And to name a few, a blind boy, Renier Foyke, he has his eyesight back by coming to her tomb. Another woman, Maria Pelemas, who had intestine tuberculosis, she's healed by pilgrimage there. A very famous case is that of a monastery in Italy. They were so poor and so hungry, they would eat lizards. They had no money and a big debt. And they started praying for her. This is 1910, 13 years after her death. And she appears in the vision to the Mother Superior and in the middle of the night, and she gives her 500 francs, and she takes her. She says, you can't keep it in your room. I take you to the cash box, and we put it there. And the mother wakes up in the morning and tells the sister, oh, I had this dream, and now I feel so much peace and love in my heart. You know, we've been praying to Saint Therese. And they told her, come, let's go and check the boxes. Come on, I had a dream. Let's go and check. They opened the box. 500 francs, which apparently was a lot of money. And it was the beginning of a series of miracles in which a lot of money would appear in that monastery, and the money would smell of roses. I'll not go into all the details. It's very beautifully described in the literature. There was a thorough investigation. The Vatican thought they're lying and they just want to be popular, and they brought the worst priests and monks to investigate them, and everything was checked, and it was proven by the investigation to be true. And she was canonized 1925. She was so popular then 500,000 people came to St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, well, to the plaza in front of it, to celebrate her sainthood. Now, what she did, if we can return one moment to her path, basically she was able to catch a bug in the system of many people that walk this path of devotion. Yeah, particularly in Christianity, but generally, when people ask for grace, people who believe in God and some kind of divine force, they ask for grace, and they have inside this equation: I will receive grace and I will receive the love of God, of Christ, of whoever they believe in, when I am worthy. Then they have doubts whether that help will come. Now, doubt is a real barrier between us and God. It doesn't allow the actual interaction. So if you believe yourself unworthy and that makes you doubt, it's not because you're unworthy you don't receive the grace, it's because you doubt that you should receive it. And then you close the doors to grace, and then your faith will eventually decrease because God is not doing anything for you. Yeah, because you doubt that He will, because you consider yourself unworthy. And then of course you will make more mistakes, obviously. And then if on every mistake you close down, it loops. You understand, there is a bug in this system of devotion when you see it like that. But her little way, which make her path work, and many others, including Mother Teresa, says, even if I'm small and I'm worthy, I will still receive grace. Because God loves His children. Just full stop. He will help me because He is perfect. I take as a default that I am unworthy, small, and full of mistakes. Nevertheless, I will be helped. And because you believe you will be helped, the doubt is removed, and then you have total faith in the support. And her life story, even nothing happens in that book. Yeah, the story of a soul is a story when nothing happens. The little things that happen are full of divine triumph because her faith is complete. She has no doubt. From a very young age, she knows that if she asks, she will receive because it's good. And then you open the gates of faith and grace, more grace comes, the faith grows, more faith, more grace, less doubt, more grace, and it just grows exponentially. And for her, in 9 years, from a little child to a saint that can do so many miracles after death. So she basically took out this ingredient of believing that grace is only given if you are worthy. No, just grace. This is your child. That's that. Yeah, like Christ says, you who are evil, when your son asks you for bread, you don't give him a snake, you don't give him a stone. Your Father is better than you. God is better than you. And if you ask, you will receive. It's very simple. So she took the guilt and the doubts out. And she stayed there with humility, with firm faith, and with aspiration. And so grace flowed immensely. And with that immensity, she attained her wonderful Christian enlightenment and eventually helped so many people in the world. On a personal note, she is extremely dear to me. And reading her book, well, listening to the audio book and studying from different lectures and different sources and documentaries about her path. And there's also a very good movie, we just saw it a couple of hours ago, You can find it on YouTube, a full movie from 2004. Well done for saints movies. Some of them, they are like really B or C movies, but this was well done. Really, really touching. I had to go to the toilet and cry at a certain moment. It was really very, very touching. And there is something about her presence in which me personally, I feel accepted by God. This is, I feel, is the essence of her message. Hey, don't worry, God loves you, God takes care of you. You're not perfect, He's perfect. He's yours. He's like 100% yours. He's absolutely 1,000,000 times yours. Don't worry. Don't worry if some of your friends leave you. You have one friend that will never leave you, and it is the friend. It is the absolute, absolute friend, like literally the absolute friend. And you can rest in that. And there is something about her presence, and I've been meditating and praying to her and sending her a lot of subtle embraces and really aiming to feel and enter this heart communion with her that I also feel now as I speak. There's something about her that is humble and invincible in the same time, that is extremely loving. And it like, she loves the worst people. She doesn't care. And she knows she will win them over. She knows the big weapon is on her side, this tremendous love. And there is just this feeling of the invincibility of goodness in her presence. And today on her feast day, and generally those who feel affinity with her, is very easy. You just take a picture and you just embrace her with love. You don't need to ask anything unless it comes. But just commune, just love for the sake of love. And her presence is very feelable. If she made such a commitment to stay here, she's here. Yeah. So this is for today. Yeah, but they don't contradict. You are on a tantric path. And as such, this is what you do. You grow up and you stay a baby. Yeah. Christ says it's not just to be a child. You need to be a newborn baby. That small you need to be. Very, very small. And with it, be as, like to quote Christ again, be as pure as dove and as smart as serpents. Both. You need to be sharp, like a snake, and pure like a dove. You don't lose it. It's another petal of your soul. And you can do the same. You keep that. When you grow to be a mature woman, you stay a child in purity. But you assume responsibility. And you stay pure as you assume responsibility. And it is awakening more and more of these, the heroine and the mother and the initiator and this pure child, the lover. Yes.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.